Now, this is a man that I've been wanting to hear from. For me, Stevie G is Mr. Liverpool. Listen to his measured response to the Mohamed Salah situation on Football TNT Sports.
He's obviously really upset he's not playing, which I respect. He wants it out the team, I respect. A couple of lines about throwing people on the bus, wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
He needs to reverse a little bit away from that. He needs to deal with that with the manager. This needs Virgil van Dijk to go, how are we sorting this out for the benefit of not even so much the club or the team, it's the fans. I've seen this and I've lived it. I lived it with Suarez when he fell out with Brendan, face to face. I've seen it all and I've been there myself.
It happens to all the top players.
I done the Salah statement in 30 seconds against United and got sent off.
Yeah.
So no one's perfect. We've all had head loss as players. We've all done emotional things where we think, oh, and I know in time when this all calms, Mo will go, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I maybe shouldn't have said that. And I was a bit emotional, I was a bit hasty and blah, blah, blah. But the end of the day is, Liverpool Football Club need Mo Salah back playing well, back scoring goals, because he is the best player, the best scorer, and he will help them get out of this. If this goes on, this is bigger than what we all know and what we see.
There we are, you guys. I just love this from Stevie G, because to me it's so much more calmer, and in this moment where there's so much drama and split opinions, I think we need that calm aspect. And you know, Kara obviously has his history with Mohamed Salah, but to me, some of the things Kara said, it just seemed like too much. Like you're trying to instigate a fight when obviously, like Stevie said, there are definitely things that Mohamed Salah said that doesn't help the club, that he will regret down the line. But now it's done. You know what I mean? And now that those comments are done, I agree that Liverpool Football Club will be better with Mohamed Salah. He is our best player. He will score a ton of goals for Liverpool Football Club if he stays, but he just needs to sort out, and Al-Nassr needs to sort out. This is absolutely a two-sided thing. There is no evil in this situation. Like he said, this happens to every single player, every single top player. Thierry Henry was saying it last night. During his time at Barcelona, there were many moments where he was really unhappy about being benched, and it happened to him quite a lot at Barcelona. And he had that icon status then because he had done all the things he had done with Arsenal, right? He was at Barcelona. And it's normal to have those frustrations, you know? And where I think also Al-Nassr needs to take responsibility, and this is where for me it's two-sided, is the fact that he should have never gone to that place. He needs to be able to manage Mo in those difficult situations for Salah behind the scenes. Make sure that he doesn't come out publicly and figure out a solution so that he's happier than he was in that moment, because like Stevie G said, our future is better with Mohamed Salah. And also for the fans, imagine how sad it would be if it ended in this kind of way for our top two player in the Premier League era. We want him to have 2 more years minimum. We want him to keep breaking records, and we want him to have a beautiful farewell, you know? So I really hope that Stevie can get... Bro, we got to send Stevie to be in the middle of whatever's going on, because like I said, for me, there is no thing of like one person needs to apologize. I think both people in this scenario, Al-Nassr and Mohamed Salah, need to recognize that they could have handled it better. Like I said, Al-Nassr should have been better in his management to make sure that Salah felt more love in that moment. That was very difficult for him to be benched 3 times in a row, given his icon status and how he felt he could have impacted those games more had he played more minutes. So it was on him behind the scenes to make sure that he didn't get to that place. And then from Mohamed Salah's point of view, like Stevie said, there are things like the fact that he's been thrown under the bus by the club are just words that weren't helpful in that moment. But, you know, the part where Kara said all this was pre-planned, you can say that. And I know he went for a shower before he came back to the media, but you can't tell me he wasn't feeling emotional in that moment. When you look at his eyes when he's speaking, when you look at the way he was clapping the away end after the game, he was absolutely feeling a lot of emotion. So you also have to recognize that. And as Stevie said, every player has gone through similar situations like that. It's just so unfortunate that this had to be made public. But at the same time, now, like I said, it's happened. And what can we do now? We can only do what we can control. And what can we control? Appeasing the situation. Making sure that we think about what's best for Liverpool Football Club, which is absolutely still having Mohamed Salah at this football club because he loves this football club so much. And all the fans love him to bits, and we know if he stays, like I said, Liverpool Football Club will We'll be scoring a lot more goals because he's not stopping that anytime soon. Every player has their ups and downs, every single player. But I just love this from Stevie G because a lot of people, including myself, would have been waiting for his opinion because, like I said, for me, he is Mr. Liverpool. He is Mr. Liverpool. And I think in any of our responses, it's not good to be so aggressive because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's Liverpool Football Club that we all love. You know, Salah has so much love for Liverpool Football Club. And like Stevie said, yes, it's not been handled in the best situation, but it happens. Like he's human. He's a human being. He makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. You know what I mean? And I think Slot also made mistakes behind the scenes leading up to this. Like I said, you have to manage the situation. Knowing that there were some reports saying that Salah was growing more and more unhappy behind the scenes, manage that. Like I said, we know that Salah, and all of this, by the way, comes from, you know, as much as it's some of the words seem like he's just talking about himself, at the end of the day, it's what makes him the best player of the last decade and one of the greatest players in Premier League history is his competitiveness, is the fact that he believes that any game that he's in, he's going to impact, and he's done that in his career, you know? So part of that confidence is what makes him such a great player. You know, and I'm sure like Stevie said, he would know that he could have handled the situation in a better way, for sure. But the reality, and this is how I always think about things in life, because I've made many mistakes in life too, we're all human, is just recognizing and recognizing what's most important, which, like he said, this is most important for the fans as well, for a whole host of reasons. But like I said, the most important is Liverpool. And will we be more successful at Liverpool with a player of Salah's stature? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know? And I'm sure, hopefully in time, because there are obviously so many emotions and it seems like they haven't really had the proper conversation. Hopefully, you know, as the emotions dial down a little bit, they can have that mature conversation. Because, you know, from every position, everyone could have dealt with it differently. You know, everybody could have dealt with it differently. And I'm sure that if a situation like this happens in the future, and maybe, you know, this is actually great, it's a good learning lesson, even for the whole squad, maybe, because Thierry Henry, for example, said last night that he absolutely understands Mo and he's been in his situation, but you can never let it become public. You know what I mean? And there's always going to be players, right, in the squad that are disgruntled, that aren't happy. Like Robertson too, in this season, he couldn't have been happy. There's other players you can mention. I just think it's also such a great learning lesson for everybody to say, like, it's always better handled behind the scenes. But like I said, everybody has to take responsibility with that, and there's no point in throwing blame at individuals when them two that would have been involved in the situation didn't handle it to their best ability. You know what I mean? And both, I think, will recognize the mistakes, and hopefully, like I said, I don't even know about apologize, but just say something like, I could have handled it better. So not even necessarily I'm sorry, because like I said, it's human nature to make some of those mistakes, and voice out your frustration, but more say, I could have handled it better. I know this didn't help the team. And all I want is what's best for the team. And I think what's best for the team in the future is if I play, because Mo clearly wants to play a lot, you know, and rightfully so, like I said, but given what he's proven, you know what I mean? But I just want to send a whole lot of love right now to Stevie G, because that, I think, is what we need, and not too much of the, like I said, the drama, that kind of the Kara situation. It just felt like almost like a soap opera moment, where it's like this intense debate for everybody to see, which I don't think is helpful for the situation. And a measured response like that, in my opinion, is very, very helpful, because what we need is to bring down the emotions and think big picture. And like Stevie said, big picture, Salah is our best player. And he proved it last season, and he proved it however many seasons, you know what I mean? But you got to recognize and own up to how everything could have been dealt with differently. You know what I mean? Because it's human nature to make mistakes, especially in moments where we're extremely frustrated. And at the end of the day, when he's so frustrated that he's not playing, it's because he wants to deliver for Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? Deep down, it's because of how much he cares. His whole family are now are Liverpool fans. His daughter is pretty much a Scouser at this point. You know what I mean? When you think about the age she was at when he arrived at Liverpool Football Club and where she's at now, she's basically a Scouser. You know what I mean? So Liverpool will mean the world to him. You know what I mean? And that's why I do think, when the emotions start to dial down and I hear opinions like this one from Stevie, it makes me think that we could find a solution. When initially I thought, oh God, how do we find a way out of this? Now I'm feeling more and more confident that there can be a solution and there's a way back for Mo, that there's a way back from Slot's point of view, and that both just need to say that they could have done better in this situation, and that for the future there's going to be different ways that it's handled. So let me know what you think of these Stevie G thoughts. Let me know what you think. And if you're also feeling more optimistic, I think it also helps the fact that we beat Inter 1-0, because boy, was everything feeling so low. And the fact that it was such a measured performance to that Inter, obviously I heard some people saying, oh, Inter didn't play that well. That penalty, I'm not going to lie, I would have been pissed had it been given against Liverpool. I'll just put it that way. But at the end of the day, I just love how calm and measured our performance was when there was more pressure than ever, I think I would say, in this one, because of what's happened off the pitch the last 48 hours. And they came to the San Siro. Inter almost never lose at home in Europe. And it was this calm, measured performance, like I said, which is exactly what we need in this moment in time. That puts us in a really healthy position in the Champions League and makes me feel so much more optimistic for the future. We're now getting closer to the January transfer window. I really think we could sign 2 players in January. I think we could sign an attacker that has the legs to press like a Semenyo. Someone on the wing that can take players on 1v1, which Semenyo can offer. And then I think we'll sign a center back, whether it be Guehi or someone else. And I think if we sign minimum 2 players in those positions, it'll be a huge boost to the team to have a much stronger second half of the season. I really am confident about that. But maybe it's just because I'm optimistic, Leo. But I also see our current situation. I don't see how it could get worse. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. And if you think this Salah situation can be resolved, if you think from Slot's point of view and Salah's point of view, they can hold their hand, they can come together and say, I should have dealt with the situation better. Let's do what's best for Liverpool Football Club. And that's having you in and around the team, Mo. That's it. It's as simple as that, So let me know your thoughts, guys. And yeah, have a beautiful rest of your week. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, guys.